What's in 92? Time for a little recap. All right. So CPI day, monster day, huge upside, obviously.
Order
right?
filled.
So order filled. Oh, we just caught the huge jump. Just had a short position on for the last play on my PA account. Let me drag that open. Drug a short from here to here. Just slapped a little $800 win off ES there. The last little piece. I only had 100. Oh, not 800 total. 800 total. I had about 150 win there, so about 650 off that. What's our PN on the PA account? 1158. All right. Not too shabby. 1158 on the day on that PA. Again, we trade with Apex Trading Fund. So if you want to trade with us, sports channel description, check it out. I figured we'd be getting a nice little dump here pretty soon. For that short end, well, let me explain why as we're getting into it. So we started off with X here. You don't want to make too many good predictions on CPI days, right? Especially monster days. We got Powell coming up here. So generally speaking, closer to Powell, we're obviously going to get a little bit of a relax, in my opinion, pre-Powell. The pre-Powell dump is something that we usually see, and the 100 EMA is something that we needed to be back tested. Let me show you that one more time here. So these back tested 100 EMA kind of flew up there, and I'm like, yeah, once we break the 50, usually we jolt to the 100, then the 200 for catch up as far as moving average is concerned. So not too shabby. Alrighty, so let's check with the X. Okay, so we had on the big account a solid like 5,000 plus day. How did we get it? Where did we get it? Well, we called the hit the dip buy on the 50 fib right here. That was going to be your long. Okay, so per our last video, and if you missed that one, I will throw it in the description for you as well. And what we see here is a 5-minute high-low Fibonacci, which is a pretty standard for us, and we want to see that monster. Let's see here. Bam, on the box, and then we wait for it to pull back to the 50 fib and then go. So that was your long entry for the day. And this could have went either way. We went over some scenarios for short. I ran out of time. I didn't put out any scenarios for long. No big deal. Long story short, I put out some anchors, and these are the ones that we'll go over here in a second as well. These are the ones I've been following up. So I needed to see these to the top side. Gotta open that actually. For a pullback. So I said all the long VWAPs chasing price action here will get love today at some point for long. Okay, so I'm looking for a dip into long on Qs or SPY on the 5-minute. We'll go over these after we go over the analysis here. So let's get into how we traded that $5,000 open off the Qs. Push. We had a couple different trades here, and this was all determined off of beautiful fibs. So here's the candle in question, 7:30 a.m. CPI. So what do? We high-low boxed it. So we take the box of the Fibonacci. Boom, boom. And what do we wait for? Well, a back test of, boom, the golden pocket. And then again, live golden pocket back to the top. That's scalp target 1, 1618 and above, scalp number 2. So again, Fibonacci, very clean play out. We don't try to play these a lot of the time on CPI. What I like to do is I go to the 1-minute chart and I leave the 5-minute fib on, and I try to determine if the 1-minute indicators have caught up and reset enough in order to take a play, because the pre-market is pretty much a no trade zone as far as CPI or massive Powell moves like this are concerned. I don't even bother, right? And we talked about this selling all the way back down to for Powell, and that is an absolute potential. So just you want to take your trades at the open and then pre-Powell. So in that little area here where we're not quite to Powell yet, when we're dealing with CPI. So 5-minute high-low, and then I go to the 1-minute chart, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to see the oscillation closer to open. These are where I'm going to read it, and I'm just going to let pre-market do its thing. I'm not going to worry about it, okay? So on the 1-minute chart, we came back down to the open. We got the 100 EMA back test, beautiful. We got an oversold marker on RSI and a support of the 0 MAC line. So the MAC line came all the way down to the 0 line, which is good support, just to go all the way back up as we were staying long biased in the morning. And we can see where we went to. So the 100 fib back test after a shy of the 1618. Now, this is not the easiest trade day. It is what it is on this one, but we came up, broke over the 100, shied to the 1618, usually your first target, and chops till Powell. And that's kind of what we were looking for, right? So the only trades that were likely were our 50 Fibonacci push here and our anchors. So I want to go into those anchors real quick and kind of show you guys what we had for watchful anchors. Okay, so those anchors were again long scalps, not full reversals, nothing like, you know, anything crazy where we're looking for a million points. Scalps. Okay, and generally speaking, 3 to 5 points on ES is fantastic for a scalp. We size up pretty good on those. Same with Qs, maybe 1 to 4 contracts per, you know, 8 to 15 points on scalp Qs, something we look for. So now these are all the anchors that I had posted on the Twitter, and if you're looking at SPY here, which we traded on the PA accounts as well, came back down, and look at these first hits. And if you missed the last video, please check it out in the description. It'll make a lot more sense for the first tag. So we had no tag of any of these VWAP back tests. We had the breakover of this one right here, no tag and no tag. So no tag, no tag. We had a breakover on this one, and we needed a back test to confirm. And that's where you're going to get your short-term scalp. So it comes all the way down. Look at that. Hits anchor VWAP, pop, perfect. Comes back down, hits anchor VWAP, pops, perfect. Comes back down, hits anchor VWAP, pops, and now we're getting into the Powell. So like I said on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, the back test of these anchors are going to need love at some point for a long. Okay, and that's what we posted on X. So what they have is a first tag metric where now the Qs, we have both of these anchors right here. We only have one left from yesterday right here, waiting for that tag. Who knows if we're going to get that one. These are the two opening candle and CPI candle lowers. Same with SPY. Opening candle low, CPI low, and that's where we get those top two anchors, not the bottom. So these two anchors right here, again on back test, you see Qs starting to hold up there a little bit, and we pushed in. Now SPY is always the better trader between Qs and SPY, so I would always trade this one. So you did have, as we called on X, a couple different really good long scalps, right? So those anchors did catch up, and now for our last little PA, why did we think short, right? Well, this breakaway right here was showing me that we're at the bottom side of the RSI. Okay, and I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart here, show you some volume too. Boop. So I'm really big on consolidation zone volume control, and we call this beating out on the volume. So when you have a section like this that's completely sideways and it's just not breaking out or not breaking down, it's like a CPI day like this, a crazy heavy day today, we get that a lot. And you notice we're going to get volume that's going to be telling us a specific story here. And if we look at the bottom of the chart here, I think I'm out of the way. Oh, I'm pulling out of the way. All right, for this, you're going to start to see candle closes like this guy, seller high, this guy, seller high, accumulation short, not this one, that's big data one coming up, or not data, but big flush one coming up, MAC cross and RSI lows. And these are all the pieces of the puzzle, 1, 2, and 3, on why we would take that short. And then we can look at structure and a mini fib real quick as well. So the oscillation indicators and volume that we just covered, we have taller volume candles in the 5, are telling us we're going to get a short. Now, we're not breaking up, and all the oscillation indicators are going down, down, down. So you do a high-low the fib, like so. And this is the Fibonacci I would have used for high-low for the day, which means coming into here, I am short biased all the way through the Fibonacci, right? Until it breaks over the Fibonacci, I would have to stop out, but I'm assuming downside, right? Because we have the RSI telling us, we have the volume telling us, we have the MAC telling us, we have 3 different indicators there. The VIX was holding up pretty good there, and the dollar had a good reverse pop too. But all in all, leading into Powell is one of the biggest catalysts, the red star Powell, the Powell wash, right? And if you notice right here, golden pocket, push, and snap down right to the break of the 100 and to the penny. I don't know if you can see that. I can zoom in here a little bit. To the penny. 1618 was tagged for, well, okay, I missed by a penny. I lied. 473.14. But that high-low Fibonacci, okay, came right down to the 1618. Now, it's very hard to trade these, and again, we make stuff off the 5-minute that we go into the intraday 1 minute and trade these, but you know, that would have been a pretty hard hit. But the takeaway from this, right, that would have been a hard activating trade. The takeaway from this high-low Fibonacci range is that it slammed down into that 1618 and immediately ripped back up and hit the golden pocket, came down again. So you know the computers are looking at these levels of the high-low Fibonacci. It's a good setup, right? So those are a couple of the key factors and, again, key breakdowns that I'd be watching for. Now, what would I look for the continuation and prediction of the rest of the day? Well, we never hit the 1618, and now we are back testing the 100. So if Powell has to go along with CPI, and if you've seen CPI, 0% is crazy. We beat on every metric, monthly, yearly, core, you name it. Was perfect. So he would kind of have to turn into kind of dovish, right? Well, we'll see. If he comes in hawkish after that print, big downside available. If he comes in a little softer and wants to go sideways and digest more, maybe a little pop to the 1618, sure. But he more may or less causes a lot of drop down, and depending on what they say and what they talk about, everything is going to be developed off of this Fibonacci for me. So I would look for Powell letting this go back down to, let's say, like the golden pocket on Qs, maybe the bottom. Also on SPY, because SPY never hit it. So I'm kind of just shortly leaned to the downside, and that's whether it pops to the 1618, then gives you the downside, or if it consolidates weekly and gives you the downside. I would look for a little bit of retrace here past the trade I just showed you guys in the PA accounts because of SPY. So if we look at SPY right here, here's another really big metric here of not hitting the golden pocket. High-low fib is drawn on the 5-minute and pre. That's the CPI. We are looking for a break of the 100 and a back test of the golden pocket. We are chopping the 100 fib right now. We should come back down here to 539.78. Now, not to say it can't go back up, but this is the short play I would watch. Now, watch means wait for confirmation, right? We had a nice knee jerk down, which is the Powell red. And depending what he says, it doesn't say what the questions are. This could loop back up, hit 1618, then go back down, or again, lose the 100. So you're looking for confirmation bias here. We're already in the low side of the RSI, so we're good on that. We're on the break low of the MAX, so we could get another oscillation wave down. We had seller volume accumulating, right? All during consolidation on both tickers, QQQ and SPY. So now we look for an over under. So 542 is our over under the 100 fib. We are either going to trend under, come back down for the golden pocket, probably the 666 simple moving average here on the 1 minute as well, or we're going to hold back above and go to the 1618. And those two scenarios we develop off VIX, dollar, and obviously Powell helping us out here. So I'm not going to trade through any of the Powell. I filled that last short there into the Powell, knocked out another $1,100 on the day for the PAs. And let me see here. There, yeah, and that is about it. So that is just a little recap on how I would have played the CPI, how we draw the fibs for it, and what to look for now into it. Again, I've kind of leaned right to the short side. The RSI is already kind of there, and if it were to break under this 100, I feel like we're going to come back down to here, the 666 and the golden pocket. I just feel like there's a pretty good opportunity there. The Powell wash, the Powell volatility is crazy. Try not to gamble this. It's not very fun to trade, but I would just assume by the likelihood of what we're looking at right here, we are kind of lined up for that. So if any of this you love that, any of this video you love, please check out the description. You want to trade with us live, we narrate this stuff every single day, post out trades at our Discord, and try to help out the best we can as we teach every single day that the market is open. And if you want to trade with Apex, code's down there as well. If you want to support the channel, much appreciated. We'll catch you guys on the next.